What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo, and in today's video, we're diving into Raye's My 21st Century Blues album. I'm super excited to check this out. I have seen so many comments of people asking me to react to this, so I'm stoked about that. I know the song Escapism like the back of my hand at this point. It's the only song I know from Raye, and that song alone is like a fucking movie, right? You're like living in a movie in that. So I'm really excited to see what she does with a full record. And after doing the Born Again song, that was a great collaboration, and so many people suggested this album to me. So before we get into today's video, I'm gonna ask you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, come follow me over on Instagram. If you guys want the album listening party version of this, as well as access to over 160 album listening parties, you guys can check Patreon. Link to the description. YouTube doesn't make any money. That's totally fine. I am so thankful for everyone on Patreon who has given me this wonderful opportunity to continue to make videos about music. I'm fucking stoked. So all those things out of the way, I'm excited to dive into this. We're just starting with intro. Let's go.
Gentlemen, give a warm heartbreak welcome to the wonderful Raye.
The heartbreak welcome is crazy.
Lock your phones, because the story is about to begin.
Let's go.
Height is irrelevant. He was 1 out of 10. I wish that I knew it then.
Oh, her delivery's so sick.
Truly invulnerable.
Oh.
I love a sentiment. Isn't no very believable. The role
Oh, she's in such a cool pocket right there.
I'll take this front row seat. And baby, you could go ahead. Cry those Oscar-winning tears. Pop on and ice cream.
That's a read right there. Having that full backing vocal happening that whole time while she's still like delivering this cool cadence is such a mood. There's so much life in here. What? Fuck.
No tissues, no string section, no tiny violin.
Oh, come on. Wait a minute. It's not just saying those lyrics, but the way that this song starts stripping out each individual moments. You know, it's no orchestra, no violin, no string section. You know, it's so cool to have both those things together. I know it's so small, but it just seems so cool.
Sit down, no tissues, no string section, no tiny violin. For the last time, I'm your audience. I'll take.
It's like a triple entendre, or like a triple kind of movement, right? Because it's like use the lyrics, but also remove the instrumental, but also know that those instrumentals are also those instruments are also metaphors for the show you're putting on with all of this. That is fucking great right there.
Would you go ahead and just cry?
Woo! Yo, I'm so into this. Feels like a fucking movie in one track, which is exactly how I felt about Escapism too. So you can see that she's very big into building the world of each song, which I'm absolutely into. That little moment with all the instruments pulling out and the wordplay that kind of happens there and stuff, I think we're in for a treat. If that's, you know, the sum of what Raye kind of does, I'm fucking here for it. Oh my God.
All I ask of you is open your ears.
Harmony's beautiful.
Pretty, my dear.
Woo!
On my way, figured a way out. My pen is a gun, I'm finna spray now.
God
said I was
damn.
Said I was CRO, I'm from the
God
end, but I'm an
damn.
actor. Smile on your face, all of the pricks, all of the one cause I like to chill, smoke it away,
Fuck.
manage my anger. I'm Christian, without the Lord I take my life all the times I've been a victim.
God damn. So she says something about it, life being hard to live with addiction, and then how the only thing that's keeping her alive essentially is being Christian or having any sort of faith. Oh.
Bounce back.
What? That sample is like a string section sample. It's so cool.
White men CEOs, fuck your privilege. Devil's a lie, I'm the guy, call me the comrade.
Oh. Drop that shit again, let's go. Hey. Time out. What can't she do? Because like I'm getting the hip hop cadence that I would love, that delivery to be able to like give a hip hop verse, switch it into a singing voice, then go into these super like beautiful vocal melodies. Like if you can do all of those things, you are scary because like the industry is in shambles if you can do all of the best sounds at once. Woo!
You gon' have to see me now, shining, hyped up, blinded, very fucking frightening. All these lies, now I see it's
Hyped up. She said hyped up something very fucking frightening. Let me go back.
hyped up, blinded, very fucking frightening. All these lies, now I see it so clear. Believe that it's always been hard out.
Oh! Oh! With that sample again? So it kind of seems to me in this song, she's not just talking about just men in general, because it does seem like that she's talking about how there have been a lot of men in her life that have either cheated on her or tried to take advantage of her or all these things. And it seems to me like it's more so not just the fact that that's just her as Raye and her existence in life that she's experienced, but it's also part of becoming maybe successful in an industry that is dominated on the back end by a lot of men, and it's a for-profit type situation. So of course they don't give a fuck about you. And I kind of feel like she's touching on that as well. I am so into her delivery with this kind of production. That is something I say a lot, but I think it's really important because you can have a really great singer on a cool instrumental, but if the flow doesn't work, if that vibe is not there, it does not mesh well. It doesn't work. Her ability to have these sort of theatrical pieces with drops and then lyricism like this with a delivery the way she does, we're in for a treat. All right, this is Black Mascara, and it's not an Atreyu song.
See my black mascara run from you into my mama's hands. You selfish, how you try to understand what you done to me, what you done to me.
Oh my God.
You done to me, 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 you made.
Oh, I love how she said that. So she's talking about obviously like the sadness, the running makeup, whatever has happened to her, put her in such a like sad position, right? But I like see what you've done to me, and then it kind of seems like she transitions to like you're done to me. Good for you.
How it feels and what you done to me, 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 you done to me.
She works with like several producers, it seems like, but I like that the sounds remains kind of similar.
Dripped on the throttle, sipped on the bottle, serious. Tell them hoes to be man in their business. Heart broke, but I'm still looking like millions. Just what you done to me,
Damn.
you done to me.
Such a beautiful vocal right there.
Done to me, you done. Try to understand just what you. Do you understand
Fuck, dude.
how it feels and what you done? What you done?
Damn, it feels like Raye is literally just like asking for a little bit of empathy or compassion at this moment. It kind of seems like however close she was with this person obviously brought her to a limit in which she was so broken down. And once someone can bring you to that point, you kind of see the real them, especially if their reaction to how you feel isn't necessarily like something you would maybe want. So it seems here like she realized in her moment of weakness, in her moment of sadness, based on everything that this person had maybe done to her or with her, whatever, she got to a point where, look what you've done to me. Well, guess what? You're done to me, bro. And I actually, I love that because even though there's that desperation in wanting someone to see what they've done to you and also want them to mend it, you also have to realize that if they're able to put you in that spot that many times, it's probably not good for you. So Raye's like plea for compassion or plea for empathy is also mixed with a giant middle finger to this person for treating him this way in general. Escapism, banger of a song, first Raye song I ever heard, and I probably know all the words to it at this point, so we're not gonna listen to that one because that wouldn't be fun for you guys. But Mary Jane. Oh shit. You can't name it Mary Jane and not have like a sleep / like Black Sabbath kind of instrumental right there. I mean, the producer's name is Mike Sabbath, so do with that what you will.
I miss your chemical heart since I've been clean. Ooh, you
I guess I forget that like lean and drank and all that is more than just a like hip hop thing and more of just and it's more than just like a Southern thing. I realize that that could be everywhere at this point. Woo!
Red wine.
That snare is menacing. Never heard codeine sound so beautiful before. Woo! Okay. She just took that vocal to a whole new world and then it literally just disappears. Listen to this. Gone. Now, so this started off, especially with this guitar riff. I am a huge fan of like doom metal, stoner rock, all that stuff. I love the band Sleep. I obviously love Black Sabbath. Hearing like the fact that the song is called Mary Jane and it starts out with a very like doomy riff is awesome to me. So super into that. At first, it kind of seemed like a positive, but the more that we listened to the song, especially once codeine was introduced, I feel like it kind of takes a turn because I do remember her saying in track 3, I believe, she was talking about her addiction. And it does seem like once we get to track 6, once the introduction of lean is there and then, you know, talking about how much wine she's drinking and stuff, and I'm not judging her, you do whatever you think, but I think what she's trying to imply here is like, these are my coping mechanisms. These are the things that are allowing me to relieve myself, but also feel empowered. I don't know necessarily that drinking 3 bottles of wine dry and calling your ex is the best idea ever. But for Raye, it seems to be that thing that sort of empowers her to do that. And that could go hand in hand with that addiction thing she was talking about. Again, I love that the riff is this way. And I love that one of the producers is Mike Sabbath. Just fucking hell yeah. Okay, the thrill is gone.
Last Monday, but he bust trials, I feel better. Painkillers and codeine, I got stomach cramps under my sweater.
God damn, I didn't know it was like that for Raye.
I agree, you get so mad if I disagree. So he invited me to sit his side of me. He can't stand the sight of me. He used to get excited, but now the thrill is gone, thrill is gone, thrill is gone.
It's so Raye. I can already feel like I'm saying that. Like I can already tell the kind of identifiers of Raye and what she means by her music, because the thrill is gone. Even though this instrumental is upbeat and we're fucking dancing and snapping, right? She's talking about like romance is dead. Like all of the fun that we used to have is gone. It's dead. And I don't know if it's because she's again sipping on codeine, which will absolutely kind of numb your mind, or if it's just that the love that she had with this person is literally gone and she has to seek drugs to find any sort of solace with this person. Nope. I wouldn't have called that one. Woo.
I can't sleep in the same bed as you. Something just doesn't feel right.
Oh shit.
When you fall asleep, I leave the room as you're closing your eyes. Nice to meet
Whoa.
you. Say something nice to
Is she trying to say she actually really likes this person, but what they used to have is there no more? So she's trying to like find time within herself. Like it's like when everybody goes to sleep, when you have the house all to yourself, you're leaving, you're disappearing and you're trying to go somewhere else, but you really just want to be back with that person. So it's like you're fighting for a relationship that is just, it's not there anymore. Like that person that you loved, that chemistry is no longer there. There's so many sections to this. We're having fun, but it's a very sad song.
The thrill is
Dude, there is something so just feels so nice to have songs that have so much going on in them, but they're so fucking sad. I'm sorry, but the thought of somebody's relationship completely falling apart and not by anything other than just the chemistry is gone is very sad to me. It's like no one person really did anything, but as that distance seems to go, and it seems like Raye doesn't really want that relationship to be ending. She may be sneaking out and getting ready to leave and all these things, but all she wants to do is be back in bed with that person who she had all this chemistry with. But I'm sorry, you put this many jazzy sections and we're fucking upbeat, and I feel like I'm in like a club just watching her perform this, even though like everyone's going to be dancing and having fun. It's fucking sad. And that seems to be something that Raye's really good at capturing. There's this theatrical and very dramatic side of her that radiates through the music. So it's not just her vocal delivery. It's not just these lyrics, but it's the way she's able to present these things in every form, including the instrumentation. So hell yeah. Ice Cream Man.
Heard what he was saying. Trying to touch me, trying to put me, I'm not playing.
Why am I not surprised?
I left that place as soon as I walked in it. How goddamn dare you do that to me, really? Damn, everything you did, it left me in a ruin. And no, I didn't say a word, I guess that proves it. I'm a woman.
Goosebumps, dude. Fucking goosebumps, dude. Oh, I feel them in my kneecaps right now. Whew. I feel like for a musician, one of the most important things is the opportunity, right? So it's like you can open for a band, or you could be produced by somebody who's got a bigger following than you and maybe has a great sound or whatever. But like to essentially finagle somebody into showing up just so you can have sex with them and basically ripping that opportunity away from them, or still giving them that opportunity. But like Raye said, she's not going to say anything about what happened because she's just a woman. Right. And I feel like this is probably a theme that we hear about way too often, but it's crazy because like we might be hearing about it on this big scale now, but imagine how often this is happening in smaller studios, or not even just music related, but acting roles. We've heard plenty of things about that. Job opportunities. You dangle something in front of somebody's face, you get them there with the expectation that you're going to help them. And then all you want to do is, use them sexually. And it's really fucked up that that's the situation in which a lot of people are having to live in. And I'm really stoked that Raye is out here just fucking telling her truth, even though it sucks that she even has to.
How I talk, how I do it. Man, I've been broken for a moment. I've been doing it. It's even harder to be brave alone. One was 17 and was 11. It took a while to understand what my consent means.
God damn.
They'd be in the penitentiary. Heard me asking them to help me.
So this kind of, damn it, I got goosebumps again. I thought I was going to be able to avoid it. This kind of brings me back to her talking about, talking about escapism, talking about like addiction or all those things. It seems like she tells us about her addiction and some of the struggles she's been with, but now you're kind of getting some of the root of where it started and how she was able to find ways that maybe weren't healthy to keep herself like chill and maintained and be able to, push these things down so she didn't have to deal with them right away, because it's a lot. Obviously she's unloading a lot of trauma right now.
I wish I could say how I feel, how I felt, and explain why I'm silently blaming myself, cause I put on these faces pretending I'm fine. Then I go to the bathroom and I press rewind in my head, always going round and round in my head. Your fingerprints stuck a stain on my skin.
Fuck.
You made me frame myself for your sin. You pathetic dead excuse of a man.
There's your fucking read right there. Raye has not, Raye has definitely not gotten here without dealing with some bullshit in her life. I was just going to let that go to the next one, but I feel like there's a lot to address there. It just seems like Raye's been through a lot, and I feel like you can hear it in her music. You can hear it in the way she delivers things, everything being, even certain lines being tongue in cheek in a way. It's because I think that when you grow up and you've experienced trauma, a lot of different kinds of traumas, but trauma in the way that Raye is trying to explain in the song, I feel like you do so many things. You come from a comedic stance. Sometimes you go from like true, like real fucking sadness to bitterness to just absolute hate and disdain back to like trying to be okay. And the problem is because you're always having to mask all your emotions. Like she said, she could stand there and put on a face and be strong, but then she's in the bathroom crying and having to like relive all of it all over again. And that built up trauma time and time again for an entire life so far. I don't know how old Raye is, but for an entire life so far, you have to imagine the snowball effect that has. And so once you're finally comfortable to be able to even talk about it, to be able to address your trauma, address the things you've gone through, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fucking emotions there. There's going to be a lot, especially if you've been suppressing it as long as Raye said she has, dealing with addiction and things like that to try to mask those things that you literally had to feel for so many years. It also is going to give you quite an outlook on the rest of your life. And honestly, the men involved in your life, it kind of seems like Raye has had a history with the wrong men, or with just men in general. I guess they're all wrong. So with men in general. And I feel like that trauma over and over again, repeatedly for so long before ever addressing it or being able to feel comfortable to address it, will build up in such a heavy way. So I feel like that makes a lot of sense in her music. When you hear the theatrics, when you hear, you know, the rap tone or the rap cadence come out, and then like a more aggressive version of that, it's because she's going through emotions with every one of these songs. And now we're starting to unpack a little bit more as to why. So very fucking brave, strong woman. I love this. All right, flip a switch.
4 days away, in his arms I invest. He won't take my heart, but he'll take off my dress.
Oh, won't take my heart, but he'll take off my dress.
Come alive in the nighttime.
Hey.
Tell him I'm dead if he calling me. Flip a switch on a prick and I'm a very sound bitch. Do you cross me or talk to me ever like that? I got brothers in the ends that'll pull up right now. You don't even wanna see the way I pull up right now. With my little black dress and my neck bust down.
Oh, with my little black dress and my neck bust down. She's a mood. She said, I'm a very sound bitch till you cross that line.
You shouldn't ever leave me. 24 hours in the bed and believe me, it's about to get freaky.
Hey!
Get to see me when you see me on a phone screen. Very sound bitch, you cross that line. Black heels, black shades,
that low end is so good in this song.
If he calling me,
woo!
Switch on a brick and I come alive in the night time. In the club sipping Hennessy. Tell him I'm dead if he calling me.
Boom, boom. Oh, come on. Boom, boom, boom.
Only because I was in love. I opened up, now I'll open up to your best friend. Which one, bitch like me? I just had to flip the switch on you.
So I can't tell in this song if the whole point is her like going out and essentially trying to maybe like channel some of that toxicity that she's experienced from other people, and like, fine, I'm just gonna show up fucking feeling myself, black dress, black shades, bust down necklace, and I'm about to just like take you home and, you know, just like have a physical relationship with you, not give a fuck about any of the other things. Or it kind of seems like she's going out to do that with someone else now, and the person that she was with, if you're calling me, tell them I'm dead. I'm not here anymore. I'm moving on. I don't know if that's exactly what she was saying in this, but it does kind of feel that way, especially with the idea being flip a switch. Also in that low end, because the song feels so like sultry, it feels sexy, right? But it also feels kind of naughty, like in a sense that maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe this is what I'm doing now, even if I shouldn't. So it seems a little bit more like dark-esque. I don't know. I can kind of like, I can picture her walking through the club, but she's like blacked out and like so cool that everyone's like literally just looking at her when she passes by. You know, that happens. Somebody walks in with radiating this kind of like confidence. Like, I've been through some shit, so fuck y'all. I'm about to do whatever I want. I feel like you can experience that. As soon as they walk in the room, you know they're there. You know they're ready for something. So, all right, this is Body Dysmorphia.
I let my fingers pinch my skin. I'm so hungry, I can't sleep. But I know if I eat, then I'll be in the bathroom on my knees. How can I expect you to romance me, touch my body, baby? I don't even want to take it off for you, so turn away. I don't really like my body. No one is my only body. should probably call somebody.
This is the first Raye song I've ever listened to where I absolutely, I mean, I haven't worn 3 corsets, but if you think that I didn't wear super tight shirts in high school with bigger shirts on top of it because I have body dysmorphia, you'd be wrong. This is like one of the things I dislike the most about myself is how much I hate my own body. And Raye's story right now is giving me so much life to know that I'm not the only one who does some of the things she's talking about, like the oversized clothes and all that stuff. It's crazy because like it doesn't even matter. I think it's because of what you go through when you're younger. I'll never be okay with my body because of how I felt when I was like young. That's the only thing I can think of. Cause it's like, I've been going to the gym for like over a decade now. And like, there's no reason for me to feel that way, but I can't seem to stop that. And it's the only body I have. And I try to take care of it by coloring all over it. And just to try to make myself feel a little bit better about it. Say,
I've been so depressed about it.
Oh.
No one sees what I can't see, and I'm so fucking scared about it. I should really show you how I'm feeling inside. But if I don't you call me, I've been hiding something.
now, obviously, like, I think it means more coming from Raye, not saying that like it doesn't matter that I feel that way also, but I will say that it does feel like societal standards for what people think people should look like. It's definitely forced a lot harder on women, unfortunately, to the point that they feel like Raye even says here, you know, I want to be skinny, but I also want to have an hourglass shaped body. Like these are like people make unrealistic beauty standards or what they claim to be beauty standards for the world. And unfortunately, sometimes either one, it's physically not attainable, or two, why does it have to be that way for everybody? I understand that men also have like body standards too, and people are often quick to criticize as well, but I can't imagine it's got to be much harder for females who are often sexualized anyways. So you have people that are sexualizing these females and then ripping up like how they feel they look or whatever to make them feel to a point that they're not good enough or that what they look like isn't enough. The problem with all of those things, and I'm not saying that any of those things were directly what was affecting Raye, but the problem is you create a society in which you make things seem like they are quote unquote the norm. And because of that, especially like when I was a teenager or like before that, when I really started to dislike my body, every day I'd look in the mirror, and because I didn't look like other people that I was seeing on TV, or because I didn't look like, you know, the people that were like doing sports and stuff, that like I was never going to be good enough or that I had never looked enough. And so you start to like feel, it's so hard to explain to somebody who doesn't have body dysmorphia how bad you want to just rip your fucking skin off and be somebody else. Like I can't, try not to get emotional about it, but like I'm 34 now. So for the better part of my life, for like 20 years or more, I have hated the body that I am in. And so I'm not even like, I get to sit in this chair. You only get to see part of my body. I can wear whatever the fuck I want and it makes it easy, but I can't imagine to be Raye to be put on a pedestal because you're already a singer. You know, you're already doing this music thing. So you have every camera on you, everything. You have to live with your insecurities on such a big scale. And I can't even imagine what that part would feel like. I know what it's like just on a small scale. I know what it's like to sit in a restaurant with a shirt that is not as comfortable as I would like it to be, and how bad I feel and how much I pick at myself. You guys, anybody who's been watching my channel for, I don't know, the last 6 years, go back and watch. How many videos do I sit here and I'm constantly adjusting my shirt and stuff? I get it. Like I fucking get it. And I love that Raye put it in a way where I just wanted to jam with her through this because I feel you. I fucking feel you. All right. Environmental anxiety.
Set fire to our rivers of hope. The end of us all, well, it was always bound to happen.
Yeah, fuck. For any of y'all out there that remember life without a cell phone, I think this is a really great example. So my mental health was garbage when I was a kid too, but it wasn't nearly as garbage as it was once I introduced the internet to it. I think it's because we see a lot of things, or we're exposed to a lot of different things, and we start to kind of realize all of that. We also fell into the addiction side of pressing refresh on our social media apps to see what was next. And before you know it, that became sort of an escape. And I do feel like my mental health took much more of a toll the more internet that I got and the more that I was kind of like exposed to the things around me. So I'm not saying that like cell phones are the reason, and I'm not saying that social media is the reason. That would be, you know, people have always had mental health issues, but I would say, I think it's fair to say that those things maybe did not make anybody's mental health better. And I often said, I'm not going to have kids, but me and my wife used to talk about this. And I said that if I had a kid, I would not feel comfortable with them having social media. I literally have a career on social media. I wouldn't feel comfortable with my kid having social media because I know the effect it's had on me. And I know that there's a time in which it can be introduced, but man, the fucking world just feels so different with social media. I know that some of y'all out there can vibe with that. I just feel like no matter what, you're always kind of like on the defense of your life. It's crazy.
Sexist, racist, ableist, fascist, ageist, homophobic, country leaders, fucked up futures, and they think we haven't noticed.
Okay, Ray's giving me some punk rock vibes right here. What, that we weren't gonna fucking ruin the world? You hear the sirens, like a fucking nuclear war going off, but then we also got some jams here. That's pretty punk rock to me. It's not always just about a sound.
Citizens, please evacuate the country in an orderly fashion and leave behind any personal belongings that you don't need.
It's so morbid, but it's so true. I feel like we live in a world where we're so involved in what's going on for like our sake that we forget about like the turmoil that exists everywhere. So, you know, me talking about we're dealing with our own anxieties, we're dealing with our own fears, mental health, all that stuff, but we're also destroying the world around us. We're also destroying the humans around us. We bring hate regularly, especially here in the United States. I get that she's a UK based artist, but let's just be real. Fuck Donald Trump. And I feel like we've got all of his bullshit and everything he's doing in our country. So you do start to see what happens when all this stuff starts to build up, right? When you start to get all of this negativity, all of this hate, all of this, you know, poisoning in the water and climate and all this stuff. And we're watching the world burn around us, but nobody seems to care. Obviously people care, but the bigger picture is nobody seems to really care on a biggest front to really save these things. So I love that Raye kind of does that little moment where she's like, grab everything that you think you're going to need. Haha. Cause at the end of the day, people are so concerned with their valuables. People are so concerned with images, all this other shit that they forget that like all this is going to be gone one day. And when it's all gone, all these things that we cared about were really pointless. They were really for nothing. We could have been embracing maybe a much bigger part of us all just being a community and trying to fix these things together. But we live in a world that is so divided. And I feel like, unfortunately, and I can only speak for United States politics, but unfortunately, I feel like we took the biggest step backwards that we could have historically. And that's really fucking unfortunate because America used to be cool. Like, I'm not saying that it was like that, like countries are really that cool and that all that stuff really matters. But this country in particular used to be getting better, even though it was never perfect. Progression was something that was really big and was really talked about often. And now we are so far from that this song means more now than it ever did. And so I hope that more people fucking fall into the environmental anxiety thought process and realize that maybe the things that we're going through on our daily lives are impacting things in a much bigger place. And maybe we should find a way to be that love embrace of the fucking world, because we're gonna have to go through this shit together. It's all gonna burn down. We're all gonna fucking die at some point, right? Why not support people until that happens? Just saying. All right, this is 5-Star Hotels. Ooh. Okay.
Get on a plane.
Hey.
Call it the sweetest escape. I wanna go, I wanna feel your body. You should come and visit. I got someone else who isn't. You pulling up in a minute. Yeah. Don't you know what you're missing in the 5-star
come on.
hotel in Mauritius? I think I know what you're missing. And I'm in love with other girls. I won't tell you who I'm kissing, yeah. I think you should come and visit. I got one fine piece of man standing in position. Oh, baby.
Woo!
Don't you know
Drop
what
it.
you're missing in the 5-star high hotel in Mauritius. Don't you know what you're missing? Touching, kissing, I like persistence. Don't you wanna roll in my rose with the stars on the ceiling?
God
Come
damn.
see this feel. Know what you're missing in the 5-star high hotel in Mauritius.
Hey.
Don't you know what you're missing in the 5-star high hotel in Mauritius?
Damn, so I can't tell if this is just straight up like, you know, when I'm listening to a full album, I'm kind of like listening to like everything. So in the context of things, I never really know, but I feel like this song is kind of like standalone, and it just seems like it's about somebody who you've maybe had a long standing kind of like attraction to, somebody you really like, you were really feeling, but there's always been this kind of distance between the two of you. And it kind of seems, especially 5-star hotel status. So like, this ain't for like nobody broke, you know what I mean? So like, obviously somebody maybe of stature, somebody who's maybe like kind of famous as well. And you're getting that vibe, and you're kind of hoping to just end up in these 5-star hotels together to kind of like experience each other, because you know you've had this attraction that's kind of like been distant for so long. I could be wrong. I gotta tell you, the vibe of the song is a 10 out of 10, like easily a 10 out of 10. I love these big like kicks or like 808 hits that leave a lot of room for Raye and Mahalia to have these vocal moments. I think that that alone creates such a big vibe. It also increases that like tension, but also kind of like, the song is like pretty sexual. Like the song does have like a sexual kind of feeling to it. So I like that they're able to produce that in the instrumentation as well as the vocal delivery to give us such a fucking journey on it. So again, the vibe of this track is a 10 out of 10. All right, this is worth it. There's probably so much Raye can do we haven't even heard yet. You know what I mean?
Body was a boat, could you steer that sailor?
Hey.
Make it feel like it's a 1960s Hollywood trailer. You, if I really wanted to,
Woo!
You could be my glass of wine. Sunset, I mean exhale, on exes, baby, baby, would you?
Oh.
Would you make it alright? Ooh, worth all of the time I'm about to give you, baby.
Woo!
So I hope it's gonna make it all worth it.
Does this not have a little bit of like a 90s kind of inspo? Like, I can almost hear like a Mariah Carey kind of feel, especially in that section.
Potential, I could love you if I really wanted to. About to give you, baby.
Fuck.
So I hope it's gonna make it all worth it. Ooh. Give all of the time I should be working on me. You worth it. Would you make it alright? Or maybe that much better.
Can I say something? I am somebody who, I listen to so much music. Y'all know that. I personally am a huge fan of not being able to guess what's coming next in a song, because the way song structures kind of work out, a lot of songs, not that they can be predictable, but it's just what makes sense to come next. What I want to say about this record in the middle of this Worth It song is there have been multiple times throughout this where I did not know what was coming next. And I don't think you understand how great that feels for me.
Give all of the time I should be working on
It's so like 90s feeling. Early 2000s, late 90s-ish. God damn. So I kind of feel like in this song, she's trying to say like, if this were to work, like, and I don't know if it's based on the same person or if she's speaking about numerous people, but it kind of seems like, it's like, if we were to make this work, if we were able to be together, I would show you that it is worth it. I would show you that all the things that I've gone through in my life, all the things that you've gone through in your life, they'll be worth it in this relationship. If that's kind of how I feel. I could be wrong about that. There was kind of a lot going on for me to pay attention to, but it does kind of seem like we could end up on the same plane at this point where like everything we've gone through will be worth it. And you putting up with me putting up with you, it'll all be worth it. And I guess that's kind of where I hear that little bit of like upbeat, almost like 90s kind of pop sound, is because it does feel like a happy song. I do think there's a bit of sadness there in having to exclaim that you just want someone to be there so that it's all worth it. But I do feel like there is something very positive about trying to be like, hey, all this bullshit that we've gone through in our life doesn't matter. Let's love each other now. Let's make it all worth it. All right, bust it down. Sick.
So I'm dancing on the kitchen floor. I caught a vibe too, and a song to whine to.
Hey.
I'm just trying to prioritize who I grind for.
As you should.
My time for.
Time out. As you should. For everything, not just grinding on, but who you grind for, who you are out there like busting your ass for. Just make sure the people that you choose to do that for are worth it.
Get up and bring it down.
Fuck.
He's gonna love his key. I'm gonna bust it down. Bust it down, baby. I'm gonna bust it down. She gonna bust it down. He gonna bust it down.
I want to bust it down. I'm busting it down right now. Love these gospel vocals. Yeah, the whole mood shift at the end of this record is a moment.
For EPing this record with your entire soul.
Yeah,
To
breaking the
letting engineering
wall.
and all the emotional late nights. To my mum and my beautiful sisters, to dad and Tia. I just couldn't have done this without you.
So fucking
I've
cool.
waited 7 years for this moment. Finally, my 21st century blues is now ours forever. Till next time.
So cool. I literally have goosebumps. I like whenever artists break a wall like that, because this is such a like emotionally heavy album, obviously in a lot of ways, and I really love the journey that it takes us on. I feel like Raye, especially through the first 11 songs, is putting her whole life out there. I think it's like really hard to be able to be that transparent with people, but I think it's so important too. I don't know a lot about Raye, obviously, but I just learned so much about her through this record. And I feel like that really that says a lot. The fact that she spoke so much about what she's gone through in her career, what she's gone through with the men in her life, what she's gone through with her addiction, what she's gone through with losing love or the act of losing love. Like, there's so many things that are kind of happening here, and it really all kind of changes around track 12. I feel like 5-Star Hotels to me did not feel like a negative song. It felt like you have this, when I say negative song, I mean, it didn't feel like we were addressing some of the struggles that she has in some of these past tracks. I felt like 5-Star Hotels to me gave the vibe of like, I know I have this connection with somebody. I wish that we could be sharing it together in these places. And then we got to Worth It and Bust It Down. And I feel like both of those were trying to say like, I've learned a lot about myself with these past things that I've gone through, that this is kind of like my outlook moving forward. So I appreciate that even though we had the emotional kind of heaviness in the beginning, we were able to then catch on to end on a more positive note, including ending with this, in my opinion, the last track, being able to break that wall, and even thanking the producers and the engineers and everything else. Like, that is so cool. You'd expect to see that in a live show, right? And I love that that is part of how they kind of put this, because this is presented as it's coming out in sort of like a live performance with an intro and an outro and all that shit. So fucking cool for a music nerd. Needless to say, I'm like here for the Raye ride. I'm absolutely into this. My favorite track on this is probably Body Dysmorphia. And the biggest reason is because I feel so drawn to that, because it's something that I've lived with my entire life. And there's just something so beautiful about somebody being able to explain it in a way that makes absolute sense to me. I also have to say my other favorite song is Mary Jane, specifically because of the fact that they actually went with more of like a stoner rock, doomy kind of guitar riff. You are blending things from so many of my music worlds when you do that. When I turn on a Raye record and I hear Mary Jane and it sounds like a Black Sabbath or Sleep song, you don't understand what that does to me. So I love that so much. I don't know if she's putting out another record soon, but I am absolutely here. I will be staying up all night for when she drops another record, because obviously this came out in 2023. It's a couple years out now and I'm so late to the party, but a couple years means that she's probably working on something new. So I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, come follow me over on Instagram, check out Patreon for the full uncut album listening party of this, where we jam the whole thing. I don't cut any of the music out. Obviously this record's a vibe. So if that's something that's important to you, links in the description. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.